Well, here we go again. Trudeau just got his ass handed to himself again. Should we be feeling bad for him at this point? Shit just keeps getting better and better. Pierre Poilievre just dropped the mic revealing the bullcrap behind climate change.
Of the opposition.
The Prime Minister's wacko carbon tax obsession is costing Canadians not just at the pump, but it raises the cost of home heating, of groceries, because of course if you tax the farmer who produces the food and the trucker who ships the food, you tax all who buy the food.
And that the carbon tax and everything Justin Trudeau's doing isn't actually helping the climate, leaving us all to wonder, when is this dude gonna step down?
Is he ever losing control of himself? Oh my goodness. Screaming and hollering like that, Mr. Speaker.
And why does it seem like Trudeau's always on the verge of tears whenever he's debating Pierre? Is it just me who's noticing that? Now, I think everyone understands that Poilievre and Trudeau stand on the opposite sides of the political spectrum, especially when it comes to climate change. The question is, which path is going to lead Canada to a sustainable future? And I think we all know the answer to that, which is why Trudeau's still pushing this crap garbage.
Would you charge a carbon tax on something that is not even proven to be factual and taking money away out of our pockets?
Okay. The question is, why are we putting a price on pollution? Let's start with the fact that climate change is real.
The Liberals, over the last 8 years and going to 2030, have promised to spend $187 million towards helping the climate. Wait, I'm sorry about that. That wasn't 187 million. That was 187 fucking billion. Billion with a B. Now, while our economy is in shambles, people can't even afford food, can't afford their mortgage payment, can't afford rent. Trudeau's over here spending our tax dollars, the limited amount we really have, on helping the climate. And just over the last 3 years alone, they've taken $20 billion out of your tax pockets for the carbon tax. Worst tax of all. You want to help the climate? Fine. I get it. It sounds nice. You want to hit companies with taxes and tariffs for polluting and, spending our tax money towards cleaning out rivers and shit? Sounds good. Maybe I'm for it. But the carbon tax does nothing. Putting a carbon tax on gas to make it more expensive isn't going to deter us from driving, because we have to drive. We have to go to work. We have to do things. And where's that money going on the higher gas payments? I don't see anything happening. It's just another fake tax to increase CRA revenue, to increase Trudeau's pockets, to spend on God knows what. But with all that being said, let's dive deeper into this debate with Pierre and Trudeau right now. All right, so from the beginning of Trudeau's campaign towards climate change, starting in 2015, his stance was we need to increase tax revenue to allocate money towards cleaning the air more. Whereas Pierre is on the other spectrum, more on the economic and fiscal side, saying, no, we need to increase our oil production, increase the way we do the oil extraction so that it's cleaner. And the more money we make from selling our clean oil, which Canada has the cleanest oil already in the world on how we produce it, he's saying, let's sell more of it, increase our tax revenues, basically make Canada the next Dubai in the next Middle East. Then we can take that money and make our process even cleaner, invest more in solar, more in nuclear, and make our oil extraction even cleaner so that it gets even cleaner in the future. Now that's done through capitalism. It's done through killing it business-wise, making a ton of money and reinvesting it back into the industry to create more jobs, which those people will pay more taxes because they have jobs, and it's a cycle of economic brilliance, of capitalism.
Prime Minister, instead of defending his taxes, resorted to a really wacko and unhinged claim that if Canadians just paid more taxes, there would be suddenly less fires. I thought that water and not taxes put out fires. But maybe the Prime Minister can clarify, how high would his tax have to go for forest fires to stop?
That's the real argument here. It's not that Pierre is, anti-climate change. His way is, let's improve the economy. Let's make Canada the richest fucking country on earth so that we can spend more money into more innovations. We can attract the brightest minds from America, from Germany, from France, from all over the world to come to Canada, invent stuff here, create jobs here, which will then just make our economy cleaner, better, stronger. I like that approach a hell of a lot more, rather than Trudeau's approach of, I'm I'm going to make gasoline at the fucking gas station 60 cents a liter more. Did you know that 60 cents is carbon tax? So if you're at the gas station and it's $1.60 a liter, it should actually be $1. If this was the United States of America, because they don't have a carbon tax, it'd be $1. And I can verify this because when we drive down to Florida every year for the wintertime, gas in Tennessee, for example, on the way down to Florida, was 80 cents Canadian. I did the conversion. 80 cents a liter Canadian. When we're in Florida, it's about $1.08, $1.05 Canadian. Meanwhile, gas in our country is $1.55, $1.60, $1.70 sometimes, and we're a giant oil producer. We can be bigger than the Middle East and bigger than the United States here in Canada if we just fucking press the on button and go with Keystone XL. That was a big mistake. We can get into that in another video. And hopefully, if and when Donald Trump becomes a president again, he jams that motherfucker through, which is part of his promise. If he does that, Canada is going to benefit so much. Canada is an oil-producing nation. Our dollar, our bonds, our treasury system all relies on the price of oil. They make it look like it's because of the inflation rate with the CPI and against the greenback, the USD dollar. It's all a bunch of financial mumbo jumbo. If you follow it way back, our dollar moves synonymous with the price of oil because Canada is an oil nation. Don't get it twisted. Problem is, we're not utilizing it properly. Toronto should look like Dubai. It should be futuristic as fuck. It should be Singapore 2.0 if we press the on button and just go. And again, the oil is going to get extracted no matter what. The Middle East ain't going to stop. Kuwait isn't going to stop. All these places that have dirty mining, dirty coal, dirty extraction of oil, they're going to produce the oil regardless. The world ain't going to stop using oil. They might as well use our clean Canadian oil. And that's the whole argument that Pierre is pushing. So what's the long-term sustainability of all of these climate change programs and taxes? What does it all mean? Let's get it right down to it. It means it's going to make Canadians poorer. I mean, I can't fucking believe it. At a time like this, where inflation has run hot for 2 years, interest rates are at all-time highs, making mortgage payments extremely unaffordable for people, which then makes rent unaffordable because landlords just pass the cost on to the customer, which is the renter. This carbon tax also makes groceries more expensive, everything more expensive because truck drivers have to drive from Chicago to Toronto to Montreal, whatever. And if gas is expensive, the trucking company isn't going to take that hit. No, they're going to pass the extra cost onto the customer, which is the grocery store. And then the grocery store is going to go, dude, I ain't paying for this. I'm not cutting down my margins for all this amount of celery. It used to be $3,000. Now it's $5,000. Well, if there's 300 celery stalks in this giant box, well, I'm going to do the calculations and pass that on to the customer. We end up paying the carbon tax like 5 different times. That's what Trudeau doesn't understand. But he doesn't care. You get hit with the carbon tax at the gas station. You get hit with the carbon tax at the grocery store. When you go buy your shoes, when you go buy your stuff at the mall, anything you buy, the carbon tax has been added and added and added. So you're paying a tax on a tax on a tax on a tax on a tax. Then you're paying HST on that item that you bought, which already got taxed with the carbon tax. Insane. Let me know right now in the comments, what do you guys think about climate change? What do you guys think about all the policies Trudeau is putting in? And let's get that debate going. I'll see you in the next video.